Hi, this is Christopher Bruza, and this is a Ruger American in 22-250 Special Edition 8-inch twist. Thanks for watching, and I'm trying to show less expensive rifles that are more attainable, even though I do appreciate the finer custom-made guns. I wanted to show that I hunt with these, I shoot with these, they're great rifles, and I wanted to show that they're just as capable as the more expensive guns. Maybe not as fun, but I use this specific rifle hunting a handful of times a year. It rides around in my truck during hunting season, and it's a great rifle. It's been modified with a custom stock. Other than that, it is pretty much as I bought it. I have a trigger which we'll go through, but there's no reason you need to change these things. I just did for the fun of it. Ruger American 22-250 8-inch twist. I live in North Carolina, where 22-250 is legal for deer hunting. So I do hunt deer with this, but I take it out a handful of days. Generally, it rides around in my truck as a backup rifle, and it's more than capable of taking a white-tailed deer, at least in northeastern North Carolina. So, as with these rifle tours, we will start at the butt. So as with these rifle tours, we'll start at the butt like we usually do. So with these rifle tours, we'll start at the butt and work our way forward. So as I mentioned, it's an aftermarket stock. It's a B&C made for the Ruger American, and it has aluminum bedding blocks in here, which we'll get to. But the butt pad is just your standard Pachmayr recoil pad. The B&C stocks, I would put them on the same plane as the HS Precision stocks. It's a fiberglass stock that generally needs fitting. It's not of the quality Macmillan or Manners, but it's a good solid stock. You're going to have to fit it to the rifle, but once you do, it's going to last the life of the rifle. It's going to be very stable. It has a good feel to it. It's very rigid. There's not many downfalls. It doesn't have the cachet of a Macmillan or Manners, but it's an excellent stock, and that's why I put it on here. So this is the black with silver webbing finish. You can choose quite a few. My first rifle was this color, so I have a little bit of nostalgia for it. Moving up, as I mentioned, the stock has aluminum bedding. The Ruger American has two V blocks that the action sits in. There are recesses in the action. They secure the action as well as act like a recoil lug. I elected to bed the portion of the action between these two V blocks and free float the rear. When I first bought this rifle, it didn't shoot great. I was shooting Winchester. It was like a silver box of 69 grain 22-250 ammo, and it was a hunting based ammo. I was getting 2-3 inch groups, so I said to heck with this. We're just gonna go all out on this and improve it for accuracy while it's still being a truck gun that I could leave in my truck, somebody could steal. Not that you want a firearm stolen, but it wouldn't break my heart. It's around $1,000 build. So I bet it for accuracy. This action is weird. It's secured here and here with the V-block things, and this rear portion is floated, and the trigger actually hangs off it and mounts there. It's very odd. I haven't seen it in any other rifle. So rather than bed this portion, I made sure everything was just free floated. Just taking a Dremel and working it away. I've changed ammo, but the accuracy is about an MOA, which is, for the purpose of the rifle, more than I'm perfectly happy with that. The Ruger American rifle comes with a plastic stock that has a molded in trigger guard. So the trigger guard needed to be replaced. The trigger guard here is aluminum. Appears to be black painted, not anodized aluminum, but it's aluminum nonetheless, and it came with a stock for no additional charge. I think the stock was about $300. It fits fine. I did bed the bottom metal to the stock. The bottom metal doesn't actually, I guess this front screw actually does go into the action, so it's a good idea. But this back doesn't affect the action much at all. I bet it. I prefer more accuracy over less accuracy. This utilizes the original Ruger rotary magazine. It's a 4-round magazine, and this one is specific to the 22-250. The round will not feed from the 308 mags. When I originally got the stock, the magazine would not fit in, and I had to Dremel away where the fiberglass met the aluminum bedding block. It was sloppy. It wasn't cleaned up after assembly, and the magazine wouldn't fit. A few minutes with a Dremel and I guess just a milling type bit on it. Clean that all up. The magazine fits great. There's a notch in here that this rear piece locks into, and it rocks into place. It feeds well. It carries rather smoothly. It doesn't stick out a lot. It's comfortable on your hand. So the action is original, not modified. Has a side bolt release. You release the bolt. It's a 3-lug bolt with, I guess, a Sacco M16 style. Well, it's on the lug, so type of extractor. You have a plunger style ejector, and I believe it's a 70-degree bolt throw. There's no real fluting on it. There's a recess that engages the bolt stop, and that's about it. There's not much to talk about here. The knob feels very reasonable. I don't know if there are aftermarket knobs or how to change it, but this, I have no complaints about that. Cocks on the upstroke, but it feels fairly smooth. There's some machining marks on it. It does make a little noise, but it's a $450 gun, so it shoots well. I got no complaints. On top of that, the Ruger American does come with a Picatinny rail. I don't know what the spec is on it. I generally elect to change them. I've had 5 or 6 of these rifles. They're great. I really like them. I've done them up in different ways, different stocks, different scopes. But they've all proven to be great rifles. And I'll either use this mount or the Tally lightweight one-piece rings that are separate, that screw in for more of a lighter weight hunting build. But this is a Night Force aluminum 20 MOA Picatinny base on here. I did not bed it to the receiver. It fit very well, and it's 20 MOA canted, which means the scope is slightly tilted. I have a 100-yard zero, so it's not an issue. Because this is a truck gun and a backup type gun, and it's gonna, I mean, it literally rides around the floor of my truck during hunting season. So I have Badger Ordnance. It's a 6-screw model, and they are 823 thousandths of an inch high, 30 millimeter diameter for a SWFA 6x42 standard rifle scope. Has their mil quad reticle. It's the Super Sniper series. Very inexpensive scope. I want to say it's $300, and it's worth every single penny. SWFA makes 3 exceptional scopes, especially when you consider the money. This one, which is a fixed 6 power, 1/10 of a mil adjustments. It's got a rear parallax, and it's an amazing scope. They also make a 3-9x42 variable, 1/10 of a mil adjustments as well, and the same mil quad reticle, but that has extra low dispersion, ED, HD glass, and it's about $600. But that's an exceptional scope for the money, and they make one just like this, which is a fixed 10 power. I recommend them. I've never had an issue. Great scopes for the money. If you have more money, you can get much better scopes, but it's a $300 scope I have on my rifle. I have, $4,000 scopes I could use, and this fits the bill. I have no complaints about it. The mil quad reticle has got 3 big hash marks, which you're going to be relying on in a hunting situation. Decent reticle. I'd probably prefer like a mil dot or something like that, but it works. You've got 5 mil per rev turrets, 1/10 of a mil adjustments, and I installed a 0 stop on this. So it goes 1.3 mils below 0 the way I have it set up right now. The 0 stop is aftermarket. It's $10, $15, $20, something like that. There's actually a guy on YouTube who sells them. If you do a search, you'll likely find it. They are just a series of plastic washers that you stack in there, and it limits the turret travel. There is no 0 stop for the windage. It'd be great if they offered this scope with a capped windage. I mean, that would be ideal for hunting. Just make sure it doesn't wander, when you're carrying it. I haven't had that issue. The adjustments are very solid. They're very tactile. No complaints. I added Butler Creek caps on the scope. These are an option when ordering from SWFA, and I believe you get a discount when you buy them at the same time. So going forward here, you'll see the barrel is stainless steel with a carbon steel action. This rifle was a limited production run made by Ruger for Whitaker guns. And I don't know how many they made, but the 22-250 is a great round, but usually it's not, the barrel's not twisted quick enough to use heavier bullets. Right now I'm shooting 64 grain in here, but I could shoot 75 grain, 77. The next bullets I'll be moving to, because what I've been shooting is discontinued, are the 70 grain Barnes. These heavier bullets, which you would use to take deer or something like that, aren't stabilized in the traditional 1 in 12 inch, even 1 in 10 inch twist. Those are made for varmint bullets and varmint hunting, but the 22 caliber bullets have gotten great and are very useful for deer hunting. So they commissioned, I guess, a special run of 8 inch twist stainless steel barrels, and it's a great gun, very little recoil, great ballistics. I am currently shooting a bonded Nosler 64 grain bullet, 223 caliber, and these are running right around 3,400 feet per second. So a 64 grain bullet running 3,400 feet per second is devastating on a white-tailed deer, and there's no reason you shouldn't be able to hunt with it. Don't know if I'd go to take moose with it, but it's a through and through on white-tailed deer. Very little recoil. My son is not quite old enough. He goes hunting with me, but he doesn't actually shoot a rifle. This will likely be the gun he starts out with. It's very simple. It's relatively lightweight, low recoiling round, very capable round. Easy to use scope, no magnification or anything like that, and good trigger. It's a very good rifle for less than $1,000. The way it sits right now. Oh, this is a Latigo, Brownell's Latigo sling. Quick adjustment. I use this sling on several rifles. Works fine. And I think I missed the Triad Tactical stock pack, but if you've seen other videos, you've likely seen that stock pack. I appreciate you watching. Please subscribe and like, and until next time, enjoy.